Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here with Geekazine How to Record Podcasts, and you're watching another Wirecast tutorial. Wirecast 5 tutorial part 5, use Wirecast in your Google Hangout or YouTube recording. Like I said, my name is Jeffrey Powers. You can find me over at Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek, or How to Record Podcasts at howtorecordpodcasts.com. That's a nice little lower third here. We'll show you. And basically, if you haven't caught up on the series, this is part 5. We've got 4 other videos of Wirecast 5. Also have a couple videos from Wirecast 4, which you can also watch. They give you more of the basics, and of course, Wirecast 5, we show the change up, and then I show you some cool things, like for instance, how to do this nice little lower third right here with you see the Geekazine floating around right there. I think that's pretty cool. But today we're talking about making this more useful inside of a Google Hangout, making this more useful inside of a YouTube recording. I have a show called Geek Smack, where I've basically went live every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. and I used Wirecast because, well, first of all, when you actually go through the live settings, they actually show you and they give you a copy of Wirecast to use for that, and it's not going to be this high end version of the either the pro or the regular version. It's going to be even a more dumbed down version that can only connect up to YouTube and maybe record for you. I have never loaded it, so I'm not 100% sure. And it'll allow you to actually send your stuff to YouTube so it can be put up on YouTube and put up in Google Hangouts. So when I do this week in Google Glass, it's easier to do it as a Hangout as opposed to bring 2 or 3 different Skype sessions in and control them through here, because once you start doing 2 to 3 desktops in Wirecast and you don't have the power on your desktop, then all of a sudden they're clashing with each other, because it's trying to go to this machine for this person, go to this machine, and keep 30 frames a second. So it clashed a lot, and a lot of end result was the guest would have a latency to them. So you'd see their lips moving like a second or 2 after they spoke. And even though it's nice, it works, it's not where I wanted to be. So Hangouts, at that time, Hangouts actually improved a lot, and I was really impressed with how that worked. So that's why I made the switch over there. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you a lot. Actually, I'm going to do a lot of back and forth switching here. And I'm going to start by going over here and calling up my YouTube channel. And we're going to show you how to, first of all, use YouTube to set up a live event. So we're going to go over here. I think this is the local desktop. Where's the other one? There we go. And now we're on my YouTube channel. And of course, you have to set up a YouTube channel to make this work. It's not going to be, you gotta do some stuff here. So, but basically, once you get it set up, and once you have it set up so it can do some recording and you can stream live events, you'll have this little option right here called live events, and we'll click on that. And of course, I have absolutely no live events right now because I don't have anything coming up, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to schedule a new live event. And I'm going to do that really quick. We're going to do it right now. And we're just going to call it a simple test. Test. There we go. Or toast. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a private event. We're going to turn off any communication. Now here we can say we want more encoding options. We want it to be more of a professional look. So we're just going to go through your regular custom encoder that goes straight to YouTube. But we can choose quick, and we can make it into a Google Hangout and Hangouts on air. But no, we're going to do it this way. We're going to choose the advanced. And the coolest thing about this is we can choose a lot more in the video here. We are going to make this a private. Where's the private here? Maybe that was on the first page. Let's go back here. Oh, here it is. Public. We're going to switch it to private. Of course, you put in your description right here. Advanced settings, you can fill all that out. Since we're not really going to be doing anything, it's, you fill it out what you need to. Broadcast delay, Sometimes you want to do a 30-second or 60-second delay. I usually do a 30-second. We'll say 60-second. Now, once they put on, they have an option for these for ads that can go, and you can say, okay, this is where I'm going to place the ad. I have yet to have that option available to me. Let's just put it that way. So I don't do that, but we'll just say, and in order to do that, you need to have a delay going. That was the whole point. So we'll just go on here. You've got other options, and of course you got monetization options. It doesn't really matter in this point. We're just going to hit create event from here. Now, as you can see, it says, do you want to use Wirecast for YouTube? There's a free version available. You can try it now. Well, we've already got Wirecast, so it really doesn't matter. And of course, I could put a thumbnail here, but this is what I want to do for basic ingestion. When it comes to Wirecast, 720p seems to be a nice number. I could try and do 1080, but sometimes it skips a little bit, so I'm just going to go 720. That's more than enough for here. And then we're going to hit Save Changes. Now, we're going to go over to this live control room and go from there. This is where we will see all our data come in. And here I'm going to minimize this. Now I'm going to bring up my Wirecast. Hi, how you doing? It's me. And I am going to go up to Output Setting. I'm sorry. Yeah, Output Settings. What am I thinking? I don't know. Anyway, and of course I want to choose, I'm going to choose to actually add in the YouTube option. So I'm going to go down here. We've already set up the recorded disk like we did in the first episode. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to say I want a new server, and I want to go to YouTube. And they've got lots of options here. Some of the options you didn't see on that list. There's a whole list of options right here, which I could choose from. So we just want YouTube, so we're going to say OK. And that's going to come in, and we got to go back to Output Settings. And now we've got our YouTube channel set up. So we haven't configured anything. We go YouTube. And, of course, we can choose here, of course, on another set of delay. And by doing that, it also will take up extra memory to do a delay from here, because it's recording 30 seconds and then it starts pushing out after 30 seconds. So it has to have that amount of memory to store it so it can push it. We're going to say 0 since we've already got a delay on there. In YouTube, we want to hit the Authenticate button, and that's where we sign into. And for some reason, it's switching me over to my Internet Explorer page. Or Internet Explorer browser. So what we would do is we would then log in, and that's what I'm going to do right now. That's why you're not seeing that screen. And there we go. I'm going to sign in, and then I'm going to say I want Geekazine. And then we're going to go, let's see, we're going to go back here. There we go. And it says, at this point, it'll say this app would like to manage your YouTube account. In this case, we say accept. And then it'll close that window out. And then, of course, if we go back to output, and then that's the coolest thing, is once you have that set up, it'll just remember your authentication unless you do something like update the system or reinstall or something like that. So as you can see, the event twist is here. So we've got that set. We're good to go. We can use the backup server if we want to. Not too worried about that. Once again, we can do the stream delay. Now we're going to see a memory usage. It's going to take us about 9.8 megabytes extra memory usage if we want to put a delay on, but we really don't. So let's just let's just go back to 0 here and go from there. Now we're all set. Actually we're going straight to YouTube. We're not going to Google Hangout. We're going straight to YouTube. Then that's very important here. So now what I would do is I would hit this stream button up here, and that would start the stream to YouTube. Now we have to go back into our YouTube page, and it's saying right now, it's saying, hey, there's a stream here and it's good. We've got a good stream here. So when you're ready to go here. And then that's where the preview button is. We're going to hit the preview button. It's going to say, are you sure? We're going to say, okay. and then it's going to take a few seconds to get things ready for the stream. And once that's done, it will then, the button start streaming will well, it's not really gray, it's a light blue, will actually turn a darker blue, and you'll be able to hit that button to start streaming. Now, at any point, if you want to check it, they have the preview area down here. So I can hit this play button, and right now we're seeing the standby because the preview hasn't finished here. In about 30 seconds, the preview will pop up here, and you can test it out and check it from there. You can also choose broadcast alerts, slates and state insertion. This is what I was talking about. Ads insertion, as you can see, it's all grayed out. And once I start the thing, it stayed grayed out for me before. So we'll see if it does it again this time. Now, what we're gonna do, first of all, there's an option down here. It's called Sync to Preview Player. Now, we'll just hit the question mark. It says use the part of the video showing in the preview as the starting point, which means the second that I hit Start Preview, it says that's where you want to start. Or if I hit Start Streaming, that's where you want to start. So in this case, I want it to start when I hit that Start Streaming, and it goes from there. That's where I want it to start. So when I go back to, let's do this. We're going to go back to Wirecast really quick. And I'm going to close out my video, and I'm going to open up this. So we have, and of course it's showing part 3 for the tutorial. So it has a little bit of a header and go from there. Come back here. I'm going to hit the Start Streaming button. It says, oh, do you want to start streaming? Yes. Okay. So we're going to start streaming, and it's going to go. And now you can see the Start Streaming button is going. You're live, and you're good to go. We're going to go back to Wirecast here. Now I have my buffer. It's basically a buffer, so I can talk to you before I get going. And then I can go like this and this. And hey, everybody, Jeffrey Powers here, and this is my show. Thank you very much. I can put some lower thirds on and talk about it. I'm Jeffrey Powers, and thanks a lot. And I can do some local desktop stuff and put my video in there and make it look all professional and stuff like that. Bring it back to me, close it out, and then say thank you very much for watching. Bring this back up, close it out, and I'm done with my stream. Now, don't close this yet. What you want to do is you want to go back here. If you have multiple accounts on YouTube, and you have it hooked up to Google Plus, and you have like 3 or 4 YouTube accounts like I do, you got to watch out, because what this page will do is sometimes it'll refresh, and then it won't know which account you're in. So when you hit stop streaming, it doesn't work. So sometimes you just got to hit this refresh button right here, and then you choose which account you're in, of course. And then the stop streaming button's right there. All you have to do is hit stop streaming, say OK, and we're all done. Go back into Wirecast, depress the stream option, and we've just stopped the stream. We're going to close that window really quick, and there you go. So now it's not going to show up right away. We can choose the view on watch page. This is what I recorded just moments ago. And of course, there's no sound to it at all. So, but this is what I show. But once I go into my video manager, it's not showing right now. It's taking time to process, but within 20, 30 minutes, well, in this case, it'll probably be only a few minutes and it'll show up. But it can take, depending on how long your video is, it can take a while for the encoding to finish up. But of course, you can always go to that watch page and watch what you did. There I am. I'm talking. Of course, you can't hear me because I didn't have any sound on there. And go from there. Now, that's in YouTube. What about with Google+? Now, there's a little feature here, and that little feature is called Hangouts. I'm going to bring it up. And of course, I have all these people that hang out with me. And down on the bottom, whoop, you can't see it because let me switch over here. Okay, there we go. Down on the bottom, you have this thing that says Start Video Hangout. And then the little green button that says Start a Video Hangout. And we're going to do that. But first of all, we need to do this with Wirecast. We're going to go back into Wirecast. And this time, we're going to choose our output and our virtual camera out. This is I think this is a Wirecast 5 feature, new feature. Basically, what this does is it turns Wirecast into its own camera. So you can then push it off to Google Hangouts. You can push it out to another video program. Like on a Mac, you can go over to CamTwist if you want to add some stuff. It's really nice to be able to move it back and forth and create its own virtual camera. You can have a lot of fun with that. So, but basically what we do, first of all, we want to make sure that we're set to 720p. Unless your computer cannot handle it, then you want to set it accordingly to whatever your virtual camera out would be. And then go back to virtual camera out and say start. We're going to set this to the side like that. Oh, of course, it's taking up the whole screen here. So now we're going to go start a video hangout, and we're going to press that start a video hangout, and it brings up the Hangout stuff. I don't think I've done it on this computer, so I might have to install some software here. This is a private Hangout. I'm not going to invite anybody, so I'm just going to kind of close this. And of course, you're going to see me, and then it's confused as to what camera to use. So we're going to go up to settings here. And right now it's saying the QuickCam Pro, which technically is being used by Wirecast, so it can't grab that video. But if you hit this drop down, you're going to see one that says Wirecast Virtual Camera. And you're going to hit that. And then in all reality, you might have to close it out and go back in. There we go. Wirecast Virtual Camera shows up. So I'm going to hit save. And for some reason, that's not doing that. Like I said, sometimes you just have to close out and start it over again. And we're going to close that. And there we go. Now, as you can see, it's backwards. They see it forwards. You see it in a flip screen. There's some weird reason why. I'm not exactly sure. There's features in here. I think one of them is called Cameraman. Where's Cameraman? There it is up there. Capture, Control Room, Hangout Toolbox. I might not have that installed. I don't have the Cameraman app installed. I can do that here. Add app. And from here you can choose, you got Remote Desktop, Hangout Toolbox, some games, some YouTube stuff. And then there's one's called Cameraman. I'm not exactly finding it right away. But anyway, you'd install that and go from there. We're not going to get too much into that since it doesn't really matter. And in Cameraman, you can say flip it back. And it's all good. So, all right. So when you're good to go, let's see. We'll bring this back. And we'll say save. We've got the chat. We'll go to the control room. Oh, that's through Hangouts on Air. Okay. So we're not going to invite people. We're inviting people. Oh, since this is a regular Hangout, this is not going to show up. I can press this, and there we go. And then people can join in and talk about it. If I did a Hangouts on Air, which is a scheduled Hangout, and I'll show you that really quick, then we'll have all this. And of course, then you use Wirecast to switch back and forth. And we'll move this, and we'll go back to here. As you can see, there I am. There's probably no sound, of course. Well, this is actually, I think this is using the sound from the laptop. So it'll go from there. I can do a Google Hangout from Air. And of course, I can put on a lower third. So you can see, so people see your lower third as opposed to using a Google Hangout lower third. And that's pretty cool. So with that, that's how you do a regular Hangout. Now we're going to close this regular Hangout and we're going to switch it up. And we're going to say, instead of doing a Hangout, we're going to go over here. Oh, got to switch me over again. Boom. And we've got to choose Hangouts. And in this case, what we want to do is we want to do a Hangout on Air. And it looks like they just changed this up again. So here's the button, start a Hangout on Air. It's going to bring up the window, and I think this is going to, oh, here we go. It says, give it a name. We're just testing. So once again, we're going to say test. We can choose now, we can choose later. For This Week in Google Glass, when I do it, I always set it for in the morning or a day earlier, and then set a time so people can go there. And then, of course, I don't want anybody to know about this because this is just a test. We'll just uncheck all of these. And that basically says, okay, I'm doing it now, and nobody really knows. And sometimes you gotta fudge. And this is my fake account, so at least I have one person coming to the Hangout. And now it's going to load. And of course, it creates an events page for you. And now the cool thing about it is there's three things here you can do. You can just straight up start the Hangout on air. You can create a Q&A section. You press that. That means people can text in questions, and you've got that on the side, and that's really cool. And then of course you can create a trailer for it. Hey, come to the show, blah blah blah. We're gonna worry about the start button, and that's gonna bring up the Google Hangout on air. And there I am, and of course, we can invite guests. I'm going to skip that because we're not going to be on here too long. Now, we've got the cameraman option. And it looks like it... let's bring back the settings here. This is Wirecast virtual camera. There we go. Sometimes it gets fickle. And then, of course, some cool stuff. I won't get too much into the Hangout on air part. But when you're ready to go, you hit there's a start broadcast button down here. You can't see it because of the frame. There we go. In the frame. You'll hit this button, and then it'll be live and ready to go, and people will be able to watch you do all this. And then, of course, you use Wirecast to do different things. Like, for instance, let's say I'm talking about, here's my lower third. Of course, I'll put in my title frame, and then you can find out it's a Wirecast tutorial. And then I can talk about the local desktop. I can show you the local desktop, and then bring in my face on the corner, just like I'm doing with right now with this. And then as you go over to the Google Hangout, there it is, all that stuff that I was just talking about, and going from there. And that's it. So basically, you've created a camera, and you're pushing that camera through Google Hangouts, or actually other programs, as a virtual camera, and then it just captures. It's technically capturing the screen at 30 frames a second, or as fast as it can for whatever computer you're using, and then pushing that to, in this case, Google and the Hangout, and go from there. When you're done, you hit the stop broadcast. Everything's good. It pushes your video up to YouTube, and you go from there. We're going to just close this all out, and you're done. And when you're done, you go back up to output here, and you say virtual camera out, and you say stop, and your virtual camera is done. It's not pushing. It's not streaming out to anybody. And there you go. And you've just created your Wirecast. You push your Wirecast to another device. And like I said, you can do this for many other devices. You don't have to go to YouTube or Google+. You could, if there's another program, like for instance, if you're on a Mac, you can push it into CamTwist, and then maybe CamTwist has some features that Wirecast doesn't, and then you can add that to it and then push it out. And then you can also push a Wirecast to a Wirecast. So and I think it has to be on the same computer. So maybe you have a copy of Wirecast 4 and Wirecast 5. You push Wirecast 5 to Wirecast 4, and then Wirecast 4 streams it out. That's possible. But there's other different options that you can do if you have anything that requires a browser-loaded program. I get on a website called Street Jelly. And Street Jelly it's a music site. I basically play music on air using a camera. And then I could use Wirecast to put in all the cool effects, and then go over to streetjelly.com and say, yeah, use the Wirecast virtual camera, just like I would a USB camera. And there I am. I'm good to go. So that's it. There's a lot more. There's a lot of other ways to push out your virtual camera to another source. But this is the basic way right in here. And it works really well. Like I said, I use it a lot to push out shows. I use it a lot to push out content. If I don't want to record, if I want to go straight to YouTube, I might just set up a stream and go straight to YouTube. Of course, I couldn't do it today because I had to show you how to do that. So, and that's basically it. That is the Wirecast 5 tutorial on using Wirecast in Google Hangout or YouTube recording. You can find me over at Geekazine, geekazine.com, my Twitter handle being Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, and howtorecordpodcasts.com. Thanks a lot for watching this Wirecast tutorial. I'll be doing a lot more. If you've got questions, let me know, and I'll add them into the future tutorial episodes and go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out and take care.